All right, so this is Meredith speaking. I'm with Telegins. I work as a Senior Quality Improvement Facilitator and have had the great fortune of meeting and working with all of you. So I'm not going to spend much time introducing myself, just to say that our contract with Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services is what brings me to this work with INCA, where we try to support all of the ADA and AADE certified diabetes programs throughout the state as best we can. Inka?
Hi everyone, this is Inka Tatu, and I'm here at the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, and I come to these calls through a CDC grant to increase participation and utilization of DSMES programs in Colorado.
So just a little bit of quick history about where we've been and where we're going for these calls. We actually started these calls a few years ago, not knowing exactly where they would go or what we'd want to accomplish, and have come quite a long ways. So there at the bottom of the arrow in the lower left-hand corner, you can see we had our first sharing call. That was a few years ago. After that, we sent out a SurveyMonkey to hear from as many as possible on what kinds of topics they would like covered on these sharing calls between the ADA and the AAD programs, or those that are interested in developing a program. According to those responses, we put together a series on going through the DSME Business Plan Guide, which is a guide that our national expert, Marianne Hedorowitz, that presented in the April conference, put together. We broke that down section by section and covered each topic and had peer sharing and facilitation and talking about challenges and resources that would be helpful. We wrapped that series up on the Business Plan Guide in April, which then concluded with the DSMES Sustainability Conference that INCA put together. And so coming out of that conference, then we'll use the conference evaluation information, the SurveyMonkey information we had gotten originally, and the feedback that we get from both the call this morning and today's call to determine next steps. On this slide, we just added a disclaimer that each program is located within a different type of setting or facility, and there are certainly rules and regulations that apply to all the different settings that make things a little bit unique. So it's always important to recognize that and make sure that you're digging into and getting the information at the level at which it applies to you.
Just a few reminders about housekeeping. Please put yourself on mute, and you can either do the *6 feature to mute or unmute yourself, or use the mute functionality on your phone. Please don't put yourself on hold, since sometimes organizations have hold music. For speaking, state your name. These calls are really for in-depth sharing, so please step up or step back when you feel necessary. If you prefer to use the chat feature, which is on the right-hand side, please chat us some questions or comments. And these meeting recordings are available upon request for the next few months. With my follow-up call notes, I embed the recordings within the notes. But since I will be out on leave for June, July, and August, I'll have those recordings on the follow-up call notes. Just ask Meredith if you would like those recordings.
So here we like to see where everyone is located that's on the call. So for those of you that have joined us by WebEx today, if you could left-click on the pen in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Once you do that, left-click on the arrow. And once you have an arrow, then drag it to where you're at on the map and left-click again. It'll drop you in. We can see where everyone's at. If you are not on the WebEx, can you please share your name and the program you're with?
John Fritz, And then Salida, Colorado, Heart of the Rockies Regional Medical Center.
Thanks, John and Rick. We heard you from Valley View up in Glenwood. Anyone else that hasn't announced themselves? All right, great.
So we always have learning objectives. So for the learning objectives for this call, we really wanted to share with you the summative evaluation results from the conference that was held in April. All participants that attended the conference were required to submit an evaluation for CE credits. So we really wanted to share the information back with you all. And also we wanted to learn what you implemented immediately after the conference and what you're going to implement long term as a way to kind of just share with each other. And then for those that were not able to attend the conference, we would really like to hear from you of how we can find opportunities to share the tools and resources that were given at that conference and lessons learned to share with you all, so you can continue to think through sustainability for your DSMES program.
Thanks, Inka. And just to be mindful of who all we have on the call, John and Samantha, I know that you were able to attend the conference. Rick, you weren't there in person, but you did have team members there. Am I remembering correctly?
Yeah, that's correct. I had Lisa Bentley, who's our dietitian here on staff, join down there.
Yes. Very good. And then who else on the line? Anyone else that was not at the conference? All right.
So we always like to do a polling question to gauge some information from the group. And so moving forward, between this call, the conference, the monkey survey results that we did from last spring, and then this polling question will help inform Meredith and I what future topics and resources we can work on to support you all in your program. So the question is, based on your previous feedback, what topic would you rate as the top highest interest and priority to your DSMES program today? So possible answers are clinical quality improvement process, DSMES and MNT insurance coverage specific to Colorado, reaching unengaged and potential DSMES program participants, strengthening partnerships with clinicians, billing departments, community organizations, identifying resources and tools to address social determinants of health, such as food and security, affordable housing, etc., DSMES marketing, and process for helping keeping clinicians updated on medical standards in diabetes care. So on the right-hand side, the poll will open up, and you'll have 1 minute to respond. So click on the top highest interest, and then be sure to click submit. And then for those that are not on WebEx, we'll have you respond verbally. And if you need me to repeat those, I can put those in. Oh, you're not on WebEx, so I can't put that in the chat.
Inka, I'm just trying to register right now so I can get that link to join WebEx. I'm in front of my computer. I apologize, it didn't sign up that way. But I can answer too when prompted.
Yes, thank you.
And in order to see all of the responses, you can scroll on the right-hand side of the screen and then just be sure to hit your submit button after you've made your selection.
So we are at time. The results will pop up in just a few seconds. John, which one did you select as your top priority?
just the financial side of it, the reimbursements. M&T was extremely valuable to us.
So DSMES and M&T insurance covered specific to Colorado.
Correct.
Okay. So the results are in. So we have 2 for DSMES and M&T insurance covered specific to Colorado. 1 responded reaching unengaged, and potential DSMES program participants, and then both Neds and I are no answer since we did not respond. So great. This is so we'll combine these poll results with the morning, and I will highlight that in the call notes. Thank you so much.
All right. So I apologize. This screen seems to be a little bit blurry, so you may not even be able to make out what's on the screen, but we'll definitely have the PowerPoint available after the call. Really, we just wanted to give a high-level summary of the feedback that we received from the conference because it will so heavily inform our future work together. So overall, I have to acknowledge Inka and the work she put into that. She did all of the heavy lifting and organizing through CDPHE, and that definitely came through on the conference evaluations. The evaluations were very positive overall. As far as the number of people that responded, there were 39 of the 44 in attendance that responded to the survey because that had to be done in order to get the CE credit. And for program representation, we were fortunate to have 21 of the 51 total ADA or AADE programs attending in the state, and I took Marianne to the airport after the conference, and she was so pleased with that turnout. She said she does these all over the country all the time, and she would say the average attendance is more like 20 to 25 people, and the fact that we had almost half of the programs represented, she felt was a great success indicator. So definitely thank you for your time in traveling to the conference. We know it's not always easy to get to Denver. The speaker, as far as feedback on Marianne herself, was almost unanimous in that everybody really appreciated Marianne's humor, the way she delivered the content, that she was knowledgeable on the information. She used good visuals. She demonstrated strong expertise, used different methods to engage. So very good feedback in that area. Some of the specific shout-outs we received was in regards to fruit-infused water available throughout the day. People were definitely appreciative of CDPHE providing reimbursement for hotel, mileage, food for the conference. People mentioned being appreciative of having the binder and the materials as takeaways from the conference for ongoing references, where there was a statement, one of the best diabetes training sessions ever attended, and many, many just free-form comments and recognition of Marianne as the presenter. For future events, a lot of feedback that said more of the same, exactly having this type of presenter with this type of information covered. Lots of feedback on that. If we look at the areas for improvement, a lot of participants felt like they may have appreciated more interaction as a group, and that's one thing that Inka and I really aim to achieve with these calls, is having that peer-to-peer interaction. So to the extent possible, if you're able to join and network with your peers, share what's working for you, learn what's working for others, there's definitely value in that. A lot of feedback on having more time to cover the amount of content covered, even up to possibly having a 2-day training. There was a suggestion to maybe think about a different room layout for the next conference, and then PowerPoint. A lot of information in a lot of paperwork, and sometimes having 3 slides on a page was hard to read. So suggestion to move that to 2 slides. So overall, really good, positive feedback. Thank you for taking the time to give us that feedback, and we'll certainly use that moving forward. Inka, is there anything you'd like to add that I missed?
No, you did a great job. Thank you.
All right.
So for this call, the facilitated discussion portion of the call, we really just wanted to hear from you. So do questions, share something you were able to implement immediately, and share something you are planning to implement long term. So I'm just going to open up the floor, and Meredith and I are going to listen and take notes. So who would like to start?
I can start. This is John Paletta. I, being a exercise physiologist and a CDE, I'm not able to bill for MNT or DSME without a support team that would be recognized by CMS Medicare. So I met with our dietitian and our VP of Patient Services, and we, as well as our financial services person who does all the billing. So we made those changes to MNT right away because we're not maximizing the number of hours and getting extra time with patients as we needed. So just right away, that was helpful information for our organization.
Awesome.
This is Sam Decker with Tri-County. The way that she explained things, we took a lot of notes on that. So how she explained, for example, 83 is sugary. Some of those just really unique ways of explaining diabetes or explaining different food types, we've been able to incorporate right away into our education. And then we've been kind of taking it bit by bit. So looking at her progress note template, her referral form, and just seeing how we can implement a few of those things. Implementing and looking at waist circumference and blood pressure monitoring, where that would fit, how that would feel, how we can utilize some of those tools are the things that, we're looking at implementing in the future.
Great, Samantha. And you have all of that work that you've been doing the last 3 years with your CCPD grant. And so I know that you're not moving forward with some of that work, but you had an opportunity to keep it alive within the diabetes work. So
absolutely, yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah, and I mean everything. Yeah, I would say from the marketing to both, for both DSME and DPP, definitely have taken a lot of that already to heart and looking and revamping our brochures and our website, and so yeah, it's been very helpful.
Rick, just as Meredith, did Lisa have any aha moments or anything that she brought back that really struck a chord with her that you can recall?
Hi, Meredith. This is Lisa. I got to jump in.
Oh, great. Hey, Lisa.
Yeah, so I think just for us as we're trying to form a program, a lot of the information on some of the practicalities of, doing the MNT at the end of the, doing DSME first and then doing MNT individualized at the end, some of the forms and some of the practical steps about creating a team first are some things that we're trying to implement now and were really helpful for me in the planning process.
And Lisa, I just want to remind you again about taking the opportunity to have that one-on-one technical assistance call with Mary Ann before September 30th, because she can cover how to start your accreditation or recognition process.
Perfect. Yes. So before September 30th.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
And we'll keep bugging you. We'll keep reminding you.
Okay.
And hi, this is Rick. And this is more or less related, but I was wondering if I could somehow be in contact with John, I believe was the first speaker, because myself, my background being very similar to his, and as we're pursuing DSME, I'd like some of his thoughts on becoming CDE and going forward with that. So if it's possible to get in contact with John, either via email or some other way.
Absolutely. I can do an email introduction between the two of you, since I have both of your email addresses handy, and then you can take it from there.
Great.
Thank you, Meredith.
Sure.
So, I know that most of you were at the conference. I would just like to get some feedback on putting yourself in the shoes of someone who didn't attend the conference. So moving to the next slide, how do you think we could share the information and resources and tools with those that weren't able to attend and, just have that same feeling and inclination of just excitement after that conference? How could we share that with others? Do you have any ideas?
Would they have access to having a one-on-one conversation with Marianne?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's open to anyone. Yep. Mm-hmm.
It seems like maybe that would be a great start, because I know when I had that conversation with her prior to attending, just a wealth of information, to be able to absorb, and then it was specifically tailored to the unique situation of our program. That would be of assistance. But yeah, getting out all of the information, I think the tools and the slides, but they were so much more rich with her discussion with them,
Yeah, and we're happy to give those out, but yeah, to hand literally a 2.5-inch binder, Meredith, for you to find.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do that. I'm really just trying to think, how do I bite-size the information to share that, so resources. And so I think definitely in the previous slide, capturing all of your input on something you can implement immediately and long term. I will gather the notes from the morning and this call and then other feedback I've gotten outside of the call to share in the call notes and just really point that out to our folks that weren't able to go. So, but hopefully the summative evaluation results is also an example too that the next opportunity that it's worthwhile going and making the time for. So,
I'm curious, of any of you on the phone that were at the conference, did any of you make specific connections with one or two people that aren't on the call?
I don't think I made any new connections, per se. Yeah, it was a lot of learning going on, so it wasn't as much. But there was definitely times that I chat during lunch and all that, but I'm also very rural, so making connections with the Denver folks, I didn't put it on my priority list, I guess, but what I was going to say is in a dream world, and I think we all would maybe agree, if there was a person that the state hired that could just go to your facility and just set up every single step of DSME, because we are excellent at educating people, and we can bill and we can take notes, but getting these things started from scratch is like extra time on top of a regular job doing, I think what proves to be the challenge with most people. And maybe I'm missing that, but if someone wants to come into your facility and like just streamline every aspect of it, that seems like it'd be really helpful. And I know that's not going to happen, but so if there's a way to sort of...
I like it, I'm thinking big, and that's how I think too. So you never know. I didn't think I could have a conference 6 months ago, and it happened.
Sure.
So.
But anyway, I mean, outside of that, the tech call is great, and I've found that with the CCPD grant process, the Google Docs, that sharing of information is helpful. It's like a reference for us. And I know you've got some templates that people can use, and that is I've seen the template. Meredith, you come down and you said, here's your little toolkit. Just reiterating that those toolkits out there with a step-by-step process for how to go about doing this.
Thanks, John. All right. Well, we are at our 30 minutes, so thank you for your feedback and those thoughts. And like we said, we'll put it all together for next steps. Inka is going on maternity leave here in a few weeks, so I'll be flying solo for the next few months, but hopefully before the baby decides to arrive, her and I are going to meet and just summarize the conference evaluation results, the SurveyMonkey, the polling results, and conversations from this and our last month's call to really think about what would be most helpful for the upcoming agenda according to your feedback. A few other things that are happening, CDPHT and Telegen both have new contract work coming up. CDPHT is sooner than Telegen, but they very well align in a way that we feel like we'll continue to be able to support you all to the end of DSMES utilization in Colorado. So we're excited about that in the long term. We're also looking at data and how we can come up and utilize data that demonstrates historic trends and ongoing trends of DSMES utilization and MMT, specifically for Colorado, according to claims data and other data sources that are out there, because that's our ultimate objective. We want for you all to be able to get reimbursed and paid for the great services that you provide in the state. So our next call will be Wednesday, June 20th, both 8:30 and noon.
And I just wanted to remind everyone of some related resources. If you're interested in more of the National Diabetes Prevention Program and the Medicare Diabetes Prevention Program, WBURO is our expert here at the Health Department. That is her contact info. And then, again, we're going to continue to push the free one-on-one technical assistance calls with Marianne Nordwick, so really take advantage of that. And, yeah, we always appreciate feedback. On your right-hand side, there will be a survey that will pop up. Please complete that survey before you X out to give us some feedback on how these sharing calls are helping you. And so, but again, this is our contact info. You can email, call us. And as Mary said, I will be out. I'll be coming back at the end of August. So you'll hear my voice again on the September call. So, hope you all have a great summer and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining. Have a great day.
Best of luck, Inka. Take care.
Bye.